Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs, et bienvenue dans une nouvelle episode of Picks to Watch. We're going to be looking at some of the fun and interesting champions that could be making their way onto the Rift just in time for playoffs. Without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Patch 7.16 is chock full of mid lane nerfs, and while they might not be massive changes, it opens a path for currently sidelined mid laners to rise into the meta. And who better to rise up than the man who rose his empire from ruin, Azir, the Emperor of Sand.
Shurima will once again stretch to the horizon.
With a small buff given to his armies, mid laners are considering expanding their rule to the mid lane. One of his great strengths is his ability to teamfight, using zone control and consistent DPS to sand his enemies down to size. Of course, you can't forget the Emperor's new groove. When he breaks out the infamous Shurima Shuffle, he can change the complexion of a teamfight instantly, sending the enemies flying in any direction he sees fit. The typical Azir build starts with a Nash's Tooth for the cooldown reduction and attack speed, followed then by a Liandry's, which helps with tank shred and adds to the poke damage he can dish out from practically half a lane away. Don't forget that Azir can set up his own awesome turrets on broken ones, offering safety and making a would-be flanker think twice before diving his team. Be warned though, Azir is no easy champion to pick up. Being able to manage your sand soldiers, track cooldowns, and constantly being on the move to optimize your positioning requires great skill. Taking arms with the Emperor without proper experience could return your empire swiftly to the sands. Sticking with the mid lane theme, we have the light at the end of the double rainbow. It's Lux.
Elements of change, heed my... I hope no one saw that.
Similarly to Azir, nerfs to other mids combined with Lux's steady stream of minor buffs are giving her a ray of hope to make an appearance in the playoffs. While she struggles to burn through tanks, her power comes from her ability to light up squishy targets before they even know what torched them. Her light binding continues to travel even after hitting the first target, which may surprise a backline carry, and once caught, they're an E plus R combo away from learning the hard way why you shouldn't stare into the sun. Lux has an impressive objective control with a long range, zoning potential, and ability to catch out the enemy before they have a chance to contest. The standard Lux build is Sork Boots into Morello, followed by a Luden's Echo third to give her some extra punch in the mid game. You may have seen players like Power of Evil build a Nash's Tooth on Lux, which synergizes well with her passive and gives relevant stats. But let me enlighten you by saying that this path is best left to the professionals. The Lady of Luminosity requires patience in order to master her light. Be sure not to blow your load too soon or run the risk of having your light be the one that is blown out. Now our next pick to watch may struggle to form full sentences, but makes up for it by saying short words for a really long time. It's none other than Sion. He's getting a few minor buffs on patch 7.16 that may help him make his way back to the Rift, including a nice bump in the amount of passive health he gains from killing units. He does well into tanks because of Soul Furnace's percentage health damage, while still giving him the flexibility of a conventional shield. His wave clear is also surprisingly effective when you combine his Q and E, which helps him apply pressure by pushing the lane, opening up chances to roam. Sion's cross-map playmaking potential is great due to the fact that his ult turns him into a screaming undead death rocket, or a train. I like trains. In addition, current tank itemization favors Sion and his goal of becoming a massive meat shield that brings that battle to his foes. Warmog's Righteous Glory and Adaptive Helm are all great choices that help amplify the strength of Sion's kit. Be careful though, Sion is slow moving when not in ultimate rocket form, and if he misses his crowd control, he goes from being an undead juggernaut to an unfed juggernaut doing that much. Our final champion makes the demons afraid of the dark as Vayne looks to return to the Rift.
I smell black magics.
With the tank meta in full swing, Vayne is here to purify them via a swift death. She's already made appearances in the NALCS and the LPL and could start tumbling her way into other leagues as well. Her Silver Bolts deal percentage max health true damage to her foes, making that Cho'Gath Cho'Gone in no time at all. She has great mobility and kiting prowess thanks to the movement from her Q, alongside the knockback plus potential stun from her E. When you combine this with the trend of peel supports who love rushing Ardent Sensor, Vayne becomes one seriously slippery target that even the hardest enemies will have problems sticking to. Now while her damage potential makes her a terror in teamfights, her laning phase is quite poor. Vayne's short range and weak early trading power can quickly make her the hunted rather than the hunter. Her lack of reliable utility is also a concern. Vayne's team will need help to set up enemies to eat bolts on their way to the grave. She won't become S tier overnight, but Vayne's ability to tear through enemy tanks grants her a spot in the meta that any monster hunter worth their silver should take advantage of. That does it for this episode of Picks to Watch. If there are any fun or interesting champions that you think could make their way into playoffs, be sure to let me know in the comments section below. The finals will be taking place in Paris between the 2nd and 3rd of September, and you will not want to miss it. Au revoir, mes amis, and I will see you in the next one.
Alright, that's a wrap. Dude, you're not supposed to eat.
Oh.